I have been using the MacBook Neo as my primary computer for 24 hours now. And in this video, I'm going to talk about my thoughts, initial impressions, and all of that. So you might as well have a seat, get something nice to drink, and let's lock in. What's up, y'all? It's Tyson Terry Warford. I'm back for another video. Hope you're having a fantastic day so far. And remember to be thankful for your freaking life today, because you did not have to have that, especially with all of this crazy stuff going on in the world. Just be thankful you are alive today. Now, a few things I need to say first. A, I bought this computer with my own money, did not get it from Apple. B, this video is completely off the top of the head. I did not script it. I have no clue what I'm going to talk about, so I'm going to mess up and probably get some stuff wrong. Hope you're okay with that. 3, this video is not sponsored. Again, these are just my thoughts and impressions after using this computer for 24 hours. And then lastly, a lot of y'all know, and maybe you don't know, but if you do know, you know I'm a power user of the Apple ecosystem, okay? Not only do I have an M4 Pro Mac Mini over there, I also have an M1 Max MacBook Pro, which I'm not upgrading yet. I made a whole video as to why. I'll leave that linked at the end of this video. iPhone 17 Pro, iPods, AirPods Pro 3s, all of that stuff. Like, I'm deep in the Apple ecosystem. Also, I'm a tech snob. Y'all see his cameras all over the freaking desk, okay? I use a lot of high-end cameras that shoot some crazy high bit rates and some crazy high frame rates and all of that stuff. And the Neo was not designed for any of this stuff. However, as a person who has always loved the idea of maybe having a cheaper MacBook than taking around my more expensive MacBook when I want to go out places or travel, this is very appealing. So who is the Apple MacBook Neo for? A, I'm going to say students, because obviously with the student discount, you could get one of these bad boys for $500. The second person that this might be for is somebody who already has other Apple computers like myself, who might just want a cheaper MacBook that they could take around and still get the core Apple MacBook experience. This is for them. Another group of people will be people who are coming from Windows laptops or Windows computers and want to try out the Apple ecosystem, the MacBook ecosystem, but they don't want to spend a whole lot of money. This is going to be for them. Apple, if you didn't pay attention during the presentation for this, they didn't really focus a whole lot on the hardware. They focused a whole lot on the operating system, Mac OS, and also ecosystem. So keep those things in mind as we talk about the things of this computer. Now, with all of that crap being said, okay, I want to talk about first the build and construction, because I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if any of y'all have had a Windows computer or any computer for that matter that costs between 500 to 600, 700 bucks. Usually they're trash. They're plastic fantastic. They have horrible trackpads. The keypads are junk. And with the MacBook Neo, literally none of that stuff is true. I am so impressed with how well this computer is made. You wouldn't pick this up and think that this is Apple's budget MacBook. No, it's all aluminum construction. It's unibody. Does it open with one finger? Yes, it does. And that is a sign of craftsmanship and quality. And it feels solid. It's well machined, and it's a beautiful computer. I'm gonna just start it out there. It's beautiful, and it's very, very lightweight. Now, there are a few things right away that bug me, and I'm gonna try not to be like the freaking tech snob that I am, because I have to remember that this is not meant for people like me. Okay, the first thing that bugs me is the 2 USB ports. Number one, only one of them is fast, okay? So one of them is for charging, which is only 20-watt charging from the box. And the other one is a USB-C port that you can use for like SSDs, transfers, and stuff like that. But the problem is you need to charge this bad boy with one of the USB ports, which only leaves one other USB port available for transferring and stuff like that. The good thing is you can use other chargers. So if you have like power banks and stuff that can put higher outputs out than 20 watts, it'll work with this. But yes, you only get 2 USB ports, and unfortunately no MagSafe. Now, of course, you got 2 speakers on the side, and the speakers aren't that bad. Honestly, I was expecting much worse for 599 bucks. Hold on, let me play something for you. Hey, do I got any Witcher 3 fans in the comment section? That's one of the greatest games ever made. Let's listen to some of that soundtrack real quick. I mean, it doesn't sound horrible. Like, it sounds completely serviceable for speakers. Is it as good as like the MacBook Pro? No, but they sound good enough, and I'm sorry that the lighting is changing. The next thing I want to comment on is this trackpad. So MacBooks typically have haptic trackpads, meaning you click them and there's a little motor that pushes back up, or however it does it against the trackpad to simulate a click. Well, this one is not that way. This is an actual trackpad that moves when you press it. And let me just say this is a damn good trackpad, again, for $599. Typically with these cheaper computers, you're getting horrible trackpads. And this one is responsive, it's quick, it's a slight bit slower. A very slight bit slower when it comes to the responsiveness versus like a MacBook Pro, but it's still completely usable. Overall, this trackpad is very, very responsive, and honestly, that is so satisfying. And it's a physical moving trackpad. So dubs to Apple on that. And also the keyboard, in typical Apple fashion, the keyboard on the MacBook Neo is fantastic. I have no problems typing on here whatsoever, and it feels quality like any other keyboard. My only qualm, y'all, for $599 is no Touch ID. And I wish that Apple would have just bit the bullet on this one. Instead of making you jump up to the one for $699 to get the 512 gigabytes of storage and a fingerprint sensor, I wish they would have just put the freaking fingerprint sensor in the one for $599. The last thing to talk about when it comes to the body would be the camera up here. I mean, it's a 10 megapixel camera. It's fine. It does not have center stage, anything like that, but it'll do good enough for your FaceTime and your Zoom call. So overall, like construction wise, body wise, I gotta say, especially with Apple coming out with different colors, this feels probably the best that you could get for $599 without buying a used computer. Now, the display, all right, I'm a display snob, so I'm gonna try to not be a snob for this part. This is a 60 hertz LCD, so you're not getting like an OLED screen or anything like that. But as you can see right here, it's still a fantastic display. And this display gets bright as hell, y'all. I mean, I've used this computer in the car. This is a bright room, and I don't have any problem seeing it. Let me put on some YouTube video real quick. Let's put on, I don't know, let's just put on some OLED goodness, even though this is not an OLED. So OLED 8K video. I mean, so as you see, the screen looks vibrant, it's punchy, it's bright. The viewing angles are decent. Like if I come all the way over here, I can still see it. It doesn't like wash out. The screen is glossy, so you will have to deal with that. There's no matte screen option, but again, for the $599 price point, this is probably one of the best displays out there that you're gonna get. Now, I will say that Windows computers typically have the best screens on them. Some of these Windows computers are pushing like 240 hertz OLEDs, they're touch screens and all that stuff. So MacBooks have never had the best screens, but at the price point of $599, you're gonna be hard pressed to find a screen this freaking good, albeit only 60 hertz, but I don't know if that matters much to most people. Now, the next thing I wanna touch on is the biggest elephant in the room when it comes to the Neo, and that is performance. Oh, it's only got an A18 Pro chip in it. It's a cell phone chip, right? Or, oh, it only has 8 gigabytes of RAM, or, oh, it only has 256 gigabytes of storage. These are all things that everybody's got their whole butts cramped up about, okay? So a few truths about Apple. Number one, no matter what chip they make, all of their chips are over-engineered, okay? When you compare the amount of power that they take at whatever TDP they're at versus their Windows or whatever counterparts, yo, they are leagues above and miles beyond anything else out there. So when we say only an A18 Pro chip in there, let's be real. The A18 Pro, when it came out, was almost too fast for the application it was in. And it ain't no different with this. The A18 Pro in here, which by the way, I did just do a stress test, which will probably be up like tomorrow or the day after. So make sure you're subscribed to that, because I definitely tried to nuke this thing to see how far I could push it before it gave up. I'm not gonna spill the tea, but it can handle a whole lot. But in my testing, photo editing, light video editing, media consumption, word processing, emails, all of that stuff, it is very, very difficult to sense that it's a mobile chip in here. The only way that I could tell is because I'm in an advanced shoes and I have a much more powerful computer. If I didn't have that, which I suspect most people getting this computer don't have a more powerful computer already, this is gonna be more than enough processing wise, okay? The next thing we need to talk about is 8 gigabytes of RAM. Now, I'm never happy about 8 gigabytes of RAM, and I'm not about to give Apple a pass on 8 gigabytes of RAM because y'all tripping. I know why they didn't. Have y'all seen the prices of storage and memory? I get it, but 8 gigabytes of RAM is criminal in 2026. However, another truth is 8 gigabytes of RAM on a Windows computer You ain't going nowhere with that champ. But 8 gigabytes of RAM on a Mac is a whole different story because of the way Mac OS, iPad OS, iPhone OS, whatever the case OS Mac you want to talk about, the memory management and allocating memory and stuff like that is worlds different than a computer like you get from Windows. Am I saying that 8 gigabytes is all you need? Obviously, no. You know, I would love to have more than 8 gigabytes. However, you can still run things like Final Cut Pro on here, DaVinci Resolve on here, Lightroom on here, listen to your music and text message and all of that stuff. And most times you won't even know that you're running out of storage unless you have the activity monitor open. I'm sorry, system memory, not storage, RAM, okay? But unless you open the activity monitor and find out that you're out of it and then it's using swap memory, or unless it tells you like, hey bro, I ran out of system memory, you need to close some stuff, most times you're not even gonna know that you only have 8 gigabytes of RAM. Now, of course, again, this is not meant for power users. So if you're somebody like me who needs to keep 40 tabs open on the internet, and run Lightroom, and listen to this freaking Spotify, and edit video and freaking Final Cut Pro while exporting photos, and like, yeah, that's a different story. But for most people who are gonna buy this computer, honestly, 8 gigabytes right now is enough. The issue I have with 8 gigabytes, and this is why I'm not sure if I can recommend this computer to people yet, because 8 gigabytes might be enough right now, okay? But y'all know how computing goes. The applications, especially with AI, are getting more and more complex. They're requiring more and more memory, more and more RAM. And in 2 or 3 years' time, 8 gigabytes might not be enough for you. So it's that and the fact that you can't even purchase more memory if you wanted to from Apple because they ain't gonna cannibalize that MacBook Air line. You dig what I'm saying? So you stuck with 8 gigabytes whether you like it or not. Now, 256 gigabytes of storage is never enough. However, again, when we think about the type of people that are probably gonna buy this, students who are gonna be doing word processing and stuff like that, it's likely gonna be enough for most people. However, the good thing is you can get the 512 gigabyte option with Touch ID if you're willing to spend an extra $100. I think the last thing I'm gonna talk about, at least for things that matter to me, is battery life. I've been pleasantly surprised with this MacBook. I've been using it basically, I ain't gonna say nonstop, but for a whole lot since I picked it up yesterday, and I've only had to charge it one time, and I've edited a couple shorts on here. I've done, you know, browsing, a couple FaceTime calls and all that, and even right now I'm sitting at freaking 54%. So I've been pleasantly surprised with the standby time of this battery, with the usage time of this battery, and the only time that you see serious spikes or dips, I should say, in your battery percentage would be when you start doing more intense things. So of course, if you're video editing, if you're photo editing a whole lot, then yes, the battery's gonna get chewed through pretty quick. Anyways, all of that being said, I'm obviously glossing over some stuff. My first 24 hours with the MacBook Neo honestly has been very, very surprising. I can't believe how much computer you get for $599. My biggest thing is, I don't know, like I said earlier, if this is the smart buy for most people. I'm understanding that not everybody has $700 to throw at a computer or $1,000 to throw at a computer. But I'm thinking, like, if you got $600 already, then for another $300 to $400, you could go with a MacBook Air, which is just as light, just as portable, but has more ports, better speakers, faster memory, more storage, better screen, all of these things, for not that much more money. But that's neither here nor there. Taking it for what it is, a $599 computer, a whole lot of people are gonna be very, very happy with this computer. I can tell you on Instagram alone, I've gotten several DMs telling me like, yo, I'm definitely running to the Apple store to grab me a Neo. And if you got $600 to spend, you know, and you want to get into the Apple ecosystem, this is a perfect entrance into the Apple ecosystem. It's a beautiful computer. And again, I've enjoyed using it for the first 24 hours. So I'm gonna report back as I use it. Again, make sure that you hit that subscribe button, because the next video after this one will again be the stress test with me nuking this thing, trying to make it blow up. And I will make sure I leave my video to the M1 Max MacBook Pro video, and also my latest video, an M4 Pro Mac Mini, linked at the end of this video. If you like this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that you get notified when new videos go up. And until next time, I probably forgot some stuff. Just go off in the comments. I'll see y'all next one. Much love, piece of chicken grease. I'm out, y'all. Peace.